So let's talk about this idea that aging automatically means decline, because that's quite frankly how it's spoken about, isn't it? You reach a certain age and apparently that's the beginning of the end. You're weaker, you're slower, you can't do what you used to do. And so what do? Well, you accept it. Well, I don't see it like that. Now, I'm not pretending that nothing changes. Of course it does. You feel sessions more. If I train properly, then I know I've done it the next day. And that's just reality. But that's different to saying you're done. What I think happens, and I see it quite a lot, is that people quietly lower their standards and then blame age for the result. And there's a big difference between getting older and easing off. Most people ease off, and it doesn't happen dramatically. No one wakes up and says, right, I'm giving up. It's just small things. You sit more, you move less, you stop lifting anything heavy because it's not worth it, as they say. You avoid getting down on the floor because it's awkward, it's difficult to get back up. You tell yourself you've earned a rest. And maybe you have, but the body doesn't understand I've earned it. It understands demand. If you don't ask it to be strong, it won't stay strong. If you don't ask it to be fit, it won't stay fit. And if you don't ask to move your joints properly, they stiffen up. That's not punishment, that's biology. And 6 months or a year goes by and you say, well, of course I feel weaker. I'm getting older. Maybe. Or maybe you just stop using what you had. That's the uncomfortable bit that people don't like. They don't like hearing that. But here's the part that never gets enough attention. Getting older gives you something as well. Not some big dramatic wisdom, just perspective. You've already made the mistakes. You worry about things that turned out not to matter. You've chased things that weren't worth chasing. So you settle mentally. You're not as reactive. You're not trying to impress everyone. You don't care about nonsense in the same way. Now, that's not decline. That's experience. And if you combine that with looking after yourself physically, I'd argue that's actually a strong position to be in. Because now, you're not training for ego. You're training for capability. And that word matters, certainly to me. Capability for me means, can I carry my own shopping without thinking about it? Can I lift something awkward and feel confident doing it? Can I walk for an hour properly and still feel solid? And can I get up off the floor without it becoming something of a production? That's the goal. Not a six-pack abs, not ridiculous numbers. Just being capable. I could quite easily have eased off. No one would question it. In fact, some people might expect it. But I don't want to shrink before I have to. So I train. Not stupidly, not trying to prove anything. Just properly. If the weight goes up and the reps drop a bit, well, that's fine. If something feels tight, I adjust it. If I need a bit more recovery, I take it. Now, that's not weakness. That's just being sensible. What I won't do is drift. because drifting is easy. You don't notice it happening. Standards just quietly lower. That'll do. Close enough. Good enough for my age. That phrase, for my age, that's where it starts. Not comparing yourself to a 25-year-old, not trying to beat time, just not hiding behind age either. I'm not trying to defeat time. That's pointless. You can't do it because time's going to win every single time. There's a big difference between accepting reality and surrendering early. We'll all slow down eventually, but most people slow down long before it's necessary. That part is a choice. You don't need to train like an athlete. You don't need to overhaul your life. You don't need to become obsessed. You just need to stay engaged. Move properly. Lift something regularly. Get your heart rate up now and again. Hold yourself to a standard. Because once you stop holding that line, it's very easy to slide. And sliding feels comfortable in the short term. Until it doesn't. So no, I don't see aging as the villain. Doing nothing is the problem. Lowering your standards is the problem. Telling yourself, that's my age, without testing yourself first. That's the problem. Getting older isn't the issue. Stopping is. If you're still pushing yourself in some way, I respect that. If you're not, don't change anything tomorrow. Just start somewhere. One proper walk, one training session, one decision not to shrink. And if this way of thinking makes sense to you, then please give us a subscribe. I'm not here to motivate you. I'm just not ready to wind down before I have to. Take care, everyone.